When you go into World Showcase, are you going right? Are you going left? Where do you start?
This was my very important question. I'm going left to Mexico
Uh-huh.
because I got to start off. That's my favorite pavilion. Like, if you guys remember when we were talking about Magic Kingdom, that I could literally leave all of World Showcase behind except for the Mexico pavilion.
Yes.
I'm going left, and I'm getting the margarita and the empanadas and
Uh-huh.
riding Grand Fiesta Tour first.
Uh-huh. Okay, so we'll start in Mexico as we take our little tour around World Showcase then. I will also say I am a Mexico person. And here's why. Liquor before beer and you're in the clear. Hello, and welcome back to If It Were Up to Us, the podcast where we reimagine and redesign the ultimate Disney theme park destination. I'm Chrissy, and this is my co-host Stephanie. How you doing today, Steph?
Hey, hey. Good, good, good.
Good, good. All right, so we're talking about Epcot, and that's so relevant because Food and Wine Festival opens this week.
Yes, I am really excited. I still haven't looked at the menus. I need to. It's been on my list the last few days, but I haven't looked yet. Have you? Is there like a bunch of new stuff or is it mostly the same?
There are some new things that I kind of checked out now. It's been a couple days since I looked at them, but I did note, and I know I talked about this in the last episode, but the pickle milkshake is back. So that was a hit for me when I was pregnant. I wonder if it would be a hit for me now that I'm not. I don't like pickles, so who knows? But I did see that that's back. As is like the whole brewing uh like location in the Odyssey, which had like all the various wings and stuff. So but yeah, I did see that the pickle milkshake is coming back. So but yeah, no, there were a couple of new things, some stuff that looked really delicious, some stuff that I was kind of like, oh, I don't know if I would eat that. But then I did notice like a lot of impossible meats in the
Okay.
items or in the booths this year. So which I've never had like an impossible anything, so I don't really know.
Me either.
Um, but maybe.
I know a lot of people say it's not bad, especially if it's like part of a dish and not just like an impossible
Yeah.
patty. I would try it, but with somebody so that it's not just like me spending money and taking one bite and
Right.
throwing it away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. And then I did see that there were I think a couple of um booths that were going to have like a later menu. So in the early half of the
Oh,
season
yeah,
they
yeah,
were going to
yeah.
have one, and then as we kind of get closer to the end it seemed like it was going to be something a little different. Um I'm excited. I can't wait to like get on social media and see what people thought and all the people who ate everything, um, and get their opinions. So I'm like
Yeah, that's
scrolling the
always
menu
fun.
now to see if there's anything that is
I
like.
need to do that. I use an app. It's actually called Food and Wine, but
I just heard about these apps.
it does all the festivals,
Uh huh.
and then you can go on and like favorite your stuff. And when you look at the map of Epcot, it'll only put little like ping things on the
Oh,
booths that you want to try. And you can also like set your budget in
so
there and
smart.
all of that so you know like how much you could possibly
Yeah,
spend by all your favorite things.
that's so
Yeah,
smart.
it is. I only remember this because I just made a like scheduled post for my Facebook group
Uh huh.
for this exact app because I was like, this is my hack. I don't remember who told me about it, but it's super cool. And because I feel like you never actually know like where these booths are because while it may be like Mexico themed, usually Mexico's in there, but sometimes ones that are themed are kind of in different areas, and you're like,
Hmm.
oh, I didn't know that one was right
Yeah,
there.
I feel like all the ones that were kind of like seafoody that took over. There was one that was there that was more like barbecue, I thought, and then last year there were some that kind of resembled like yacht and beach or boardwalk or something like that because they
Yeah,
were
yeah, yeah.
seafoody, and those were in the location that the barbecue one kind of usually is, I think, if I remember correctly. I
Yeah.
say that like I was in the park, but I was not. I don't know. Yeah,
Did I
no.
go last year for Food and Wine? No. Uh-uh. because Food and Wine keeps starting like a little bit later, where I used to start in like July or something, right? I feel like it started like July 25th and then all the way into November. And now I feel like they are starting it just a little bit later every year.
Yeah, so. I think the first time we went, it was a later start, but we went in October, so and then I do remember going when I was pregnant, when I went in September, which was god awful hot, and so
hot in September.
Also, could have been a contributing factor to the milkshake being a hit. So I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I am really excited. I'm like scrolling through the food menu now to see if there was anything that I was like, this is brand new. A lot of new menu items, but not a ton of like new booths that I can see. So, yeah. But we'll have to have a recap of what.
Maybe when we do
there
our
is
Epcot
a whole new menu. I'm gonna butcher this. I think it's Goya's of the Galaxy. Buffalo style dumplings, a French onion soup style dumpling. So it looks like a dumpling thing.
That could be cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like sit down and look.
You're gonna have to take a look.
Now, here I am looking now.
I know, right? I know. And I feel like we shouldn't talk about this because we could talk about this in our like festivals and tours and, you know, when we kind of do like our recap or whatever. But are you somebody that like tries to try everything, or do you just pick a few things?
I just pick a couple things, especially because I've said it before, like, tramping around World Showcase like isn't my favorite thing on the planet. I have my favorite like pavilions, which we'll talk about in our episode, but no. And it's expensive to be like trying a bunch of stuff and possibly not liking it. So I really just stick to like a few things that I know that I'll probably like, and then maybe one adventurous thing. And
this is one of those times where I feel like the Disney dining plan comes into play because you get so many snacks per day, and like especially I don't know if I wanted to say everything, but we used a lot of those snack credits, and then we're able to budget a lot better when we specifically went Food and Wine, and I've got a couple hacks for that, and I'll share those in the tips. I won't give it all away now, but yeah.
I'm bummed that when they brought back dining plans, they took away the ability to split up your meals into different things and like create more snacks, like take your quick service and make it into whatever it was, 2 snacks or something. Because that, if you're like going for the festivals and want to try a bunch of stuff, that would have been ideal. But yeah, I've never done the dining plan, so.
We used to be big fans of it. The last few times that I've gone, I have not done it, but it's just been me. But I do feel like it's a good way, especially when you're doing, like I said, food and wine, and you have like you're gonna use up those snacks credits. You know what I mean? Like you're not.
Yeah. You're not at the end, the very last day, picking up all these prepackaged things,
right?
And to use up your snacks. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, I think that is well, yeah, I can't wait to talk about that and then talk about all of our festival hacks.
And
so stay tuned for that, friends. Okay, today we're talking about the second half of Epcot World Showcase. If you didn't tune in for the last episode, you're going to want to check it out because we did some rearranging and changing of things. So make sure that you maybe put a pause on this, go back, listen, watch that one, and then come back. I know I sent you a map, so do we want to take a quick break? You can kind of review what I sent, and then we'll get into it, because you know I'm going to have a research rabbit hole on this one, too.
Okay.
All right. See you in a sec. So, okay. All right. So let's set the scene. So we have visited our World's Fair technological innovations. We are now entering into World Showcase. We won't get into it right now, but you go right, you go left, you've got different countries. So the original idea for this section of the park was to have pavilions representing different countries, showcasing their cultures, cuisines, and landmarks. Each country would be staffed by workers native to the country represented. And there were 9 countries on opening day. So those countries were America, Canada, China, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Mexico, and the UK. So you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, that seems like all the countries, right? Which ones are new? So when the park opened, there were 3 countries that were announced as coming soon: Equatorial Africa, Iran, and Israel. As you're probably thinking now, we do not have any of those, but instead we did get Norway and Morocco added a few years later. So, yeah. Okay, so that brings us to each of the countries. Steph, when you go into World Showcase, are you going right? Are you going left? Where do you start?
This was my very important question. I'm going left to Mexico because I got to start off. That's my favorite pavilion. Like, if you remember when we were talking about Magic Kingdom, that I could literally leave all of World Showcase behind except for the Mexico Pavilion.
Yes.
I'm going left, and I'm getting the margarita and the empanadas and riding Grand Fiesta Tour first.
Okay, so we'll start in Mexico as we take our little tour around World Showcase then. I will also say I am a Mexico person, and here's why. Liquor before beer, and you're in the clear. So right. I'm going to end in Canada with beer, and I'm going to start with all of my liquors in the various first countries. So Mexico, it was an opening day pavilion. This pavilion resembles an ancient Mesoamerican pyramid. It is home to the ride, the Grand Fiesta Tour, starring the 3 Caballeros, a tequila bar called La Cava del Tequila, an outdoor margarita bar, and I'm going to butcher all the rest of these names, Choza de Margarita, and then an exhibit area featuring Mexican artifacts, a shopping plaza, and it also has a meet and greet with Donald Duck dressed as one of the 3 Caballeros. There are multiple restaurants within this pavilion. It's probably one of them that has like the most places to eat and drink within it. So you have the San Angel Inn, which is the one that overlooks the 3 Caballeros ride. Inside the pyramid, you have a quick service called La Cantina de San Angel. And then the other kind of table service restaurant, which is right there on the water, is called La Hacienda de San Angel. And this one is actually a replica of one that exists in Mexico. So it's like a sister restaurant. So the build of the restaurant, the theming, and then, the kind of authentic Mexican foods that you'd find there. So with each of these pavilions, I'm going to share a fun fact, but I will say when we do our recap, I'm going to talk a lot about the tequila tasting class that I did while I was there. This was housed in the Mexico Pavilion, and it became so popular they had to move it out of the tequila bar and into La Hacienda. So because it was an incredible experience. I can't wait to tell you all about it. But that will be for another episode. The fun fact for this one is that the fireworks show is actually controlled from the top of the pyramid in Mexico because of its height. So it can see over all the buildings and stuff. And for those of you who don't know, the castle fireworks in Magic Kingdom are controlled from a control building there on the 2nd floor of Main Street. So it's kind of fun to know that that's where that's coming from. But it's so tall, and I don't have that exact height, but it is so tall that's where they and I think if you look at the pavilion itself, you'll see kind of like a little window at the very top of the pyramid. I was going to get into specifics around what the pyramid is themed after actual pyramids, but I would butcher those names, and I'm not going to do that to anybody. Okay, I know you said you are a fan of the Grand Fiesta Tour. Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
Sure, because I'm a fan of any ride that's in the World Showcase.
Yes, you're a ride
person. Because there's not enough.
Yes.
But yeah, I guess. Are you a fan?
I am a fan. I think it's fun. It's a good break. I will not wait more than 15 minutes for it. So
that might even be pushing it.
Yeah. But I do like it. It's cute. I don't really know, and I'm not really a huge fan of the Three Caballeros, like the
Mm-mm.
short, the animation. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Um, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I could give or take, but I agree that it should stay there. So
Yeah, I have no notes for the Mexico Pavilion. It's good as it is. Love it. Love La Cava. I just
hmm
want to be there right now. Like,
yeah,
you're talking about it, and I'm just like drooling over
I know,
here.
right? I know. Give me
Oh,
an avocado margarita. I will take it. Okay. Past that is the Norway Pavilion. This one opened in 1988. Remember, it was not an original. What was originally built in this space was basically like um, a set of bathrooms themed to Denmark. So
oh,
yeah, they have the bathrooms that currently exist are still there. Like they were the original ones. They built around them and kind of themed. The theming kind of fit into that Norwegian um, kind of theming there. But so it was, like I said, it was opened in 1988 with a grand opening, hosted by then Crown Prince by then the Crown Prince of Norway. He's now the King of Norway, and I wish I wrote down his name, and I'm very sorry that I did not do that. But it was actually broadcast to Norway, which is really cool. It resembles a Norwegian village with a replica staved church, which houses an exhibit on Norwegian culture and Norse mythology.
mm-hmm.
And it has the attraction Frozen Ever After, a bakery, a character dining restaurant, Akershus, shops, and a Anna and Elsa meet and greet. So the original idea for this pavilion was to create a Nordic pavilion combining several countries, which like that's kind of why they were hoping that they ended up theming the um, bathrooms to Denmark because they thought, okay, we'll have like Denmark and Norway and some of those other kind of Nordic like countries. And but it ended up that the only one that was able to secure enough investors was Norway. So a bunch of companies from Norway decided to invest, and they ended up raising the required amount for an exclusive pavilion. The fun fact for this pavilion is that it is rumored that tourism in Norway actually increased like up to 500% after the opening of this pavilion. So,
Wow.
yeah, pretty cool, huh?
So my husband gets so annoyed with me because I found some girl's YouTube channel, and she lives in Slavbard, Norway, which is one of the, if not the northernmost like populated city in the world. So it's super close to the
Mm.
Arctic Circle. That's what's up there, right? Like the
Yeah,
North Pole.
yeah.
So it's one of those like northern Alaska where it's dark all day long for certain parts of the year and then light all day long. So I've become obsessed with wanting to visit Slavbard in Norway. So every time we go in there, he just like laughs, and I'm like, I'm just looking. There's got to be merch about it because it's the coolest city. And you think, okay, what could be there? Because you have to import all of these goods like by
Yeah.
ship or plane,
hmm
and there's only a couple flights in and out every day. But it's a very like put together city. And what's cool is other parts on this island were actually inhibited because it's not technically like owned by Norway. It was supposed to
Okay.
be a shared island. So there's like actually old World War One or two Russian outposts there that's
Hmm.
since pretty much abandoned. And then there's like another city too. It's so cool. So now, not because of Epcot, I want to go to Norway,
hmm
but now I enjoy the Norway pavilion more because of
Yeah.
this.
I
So
love it.
funny.
I love it. You feel, yeah, you get a little bit of a feeling like you're there, or yeah. You should check the cast members' name tags and see if anybody's from there.
Yes, that's
hmm
my like goal.
Yeah, I find a lot of the like Disney College program, like international students, come and work in Epcot in these pavilions. Um, so I'm
Yes.
sure maybe there's someone.
Yes. Well, what's weird about this is like, well, it's not weird. Once you hit so many weeks in your pregnancy, you actually are supposed to or required to go to the mainland Norway to have your baby because there isn't a facility or hospital there that can treat certain things that come
Oh,
with
uh-huh.
like early birth or
Right.
anything. So
Yeah.
super crazy. Okay, that was my tangent.
Hashtag
Tagline
tangent.
tangent, yes. So we have, if you did not listen to our Magic Kingdom Fantasyland episode,
Hmm.
we have actually placed a very similar ride. I don't think it was the exact same one, or maybe it
Hmm.
was
It
Frozen
was,
Ever
but we said
After.
we'd retheme it to Frozen 2. Yeah.
Yes, into the Magic Kingdom. So, what are we doing with that space in Norway, Chrissy?
So I still love the idea of this being a way to incorporate Frozen into the parks. I think it's a huge draw for younger children. I know my son loves Frozen. And I think if we retheme the ride that we incorporated into the Magic Kingdom to Frozen 2, I think Frozen Ever After still has a place. I think the story behind or Anna and Elsa being in this Norway pavilion, the fact that this is their summer house, this is where they go. It makes a lot of sense to me. And it's a big draw. I think we could keep it as is. I don't necessarily think we need to change too much about it. The only thing that we could potentially do is swap out the Frozen Ever After ride with that ride that we did not bring over, which was that Oaken's
Mm-hmm.
Sleighs, right? And
Yeah.
have that kind of roller coaster there in this pavilion. What are your thoughts?
I wasn't sure what direction you were gonna go. I actually thought you would bring Maelstrom back. 100%.
Uh-huh.
That was my thought. I'm okay with that. Especially because as we're doing these parks, and maybe it was weird to people in our last episode that we took out Guardians of the Galaxy but brought in some kind of like Iron Man, Tony Stark thing,
Mm-hmm.
is that not everybody goes to Walt Disney World and visits all four of the theme parks. They may go to one, they may go to two. And so if they don't maybe visit Magic Kingdom and they only go to Epcot, they only have one day, meeting the two most popular princesses, Anna and Elsa, is very important.
Yeah. And I just feel like there's not anywhere else that they belong like we see with some of the other
Mm-hmm.
princesses. So, for me, this is where it makes the most sense to have them.
My only note for this pavilion was actually that Akershus, why doesn't Anna and Elsa meet there? Like, why are they not in the restaurant and have,
Mm.
like, call it their, like, princess friend
Mhm.
dining, like, where it's Anna
Mhm.
and Elsa hosting Ariel and Cinderella
Yeah.
and Tiana and stuff? Because that just seems wild to me that they didn't capitalize it. I know they have the meet and greet, but
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that'd be too much crossover or too close to,
yeah.
there is that whole thing about not having the same character be
Mm-hmm.
seen twice, right? So maybe that's why
Yes.
it's just too close to maybe. That
I'd
could be
almost
it.
rather Anna and Elsa be in the dining and then maybe put some
Hmm.
of your, like, Sven and,
Sven
yeah,
and Kristoff.
Kristoff.
Yes.
Or
Yes, I like
maybe,
that.
okay, so you could do Anna and Elsa only for dinner and during, or maybe breakfast. Breakfast would probably be the way to go. That are in the restaurant, and then that's when you have your Olaf, he could meet there, or Sven and Kristoff, and then the rest of the night, like rest of the day, you switch it out to. I don't know.
I like that. I like those ideas. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that they didn't meet there. Spoiler, I've never eaten there.
We just
So,
did in February. We did breakfast there. Yeah. It wasn't my favorite character breakfast for sure. But yeah, I was just like, it seems weird because they're so popular and you think, I don't know. That's just my
yeah.
thoughts.
Hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm for that. I think those are great ideas. Anything else that we would change or note about the Norway Pavilion?
No, that's the only place that you can kind of meet Loki and Thor is in the church.
Yes, you're right.
because we have that whole rule with Universal. So
Mm-hmm.
it's the
Mm-hmm.
only place you can see them in
Yeah.
Disney World.
Yeah, because it's the
Well,
Norse
in this Disney
mythology.
World.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Right.
It,
So, okay, so then that brings the question, if we're in Texas and we no longer have to abide by that universal rule, do we bring in a meet and greet for Loki and Thor in
no.
the Norway Pavilion? No.
No, I don't think
I
so.
I I think I agree because I think it's not tied, even though that is like Norse mythology, it's not tied into the Marvel universe, so it doesn't make as much sense there. Um, yeah. So, okay. Moving on, the next pavilion that we would hit is China, if I'm not mistaken. This was an opening day pavilion. Guests enter through a large Chinese gate into a courtyard for a replica Temple of Heaven. The pavilion hosts a Circle Vision 360 film with a new show coming soon. So if you didn't know, the previous show, I think, has already stopped running. But there is a new show coming soon. It does also have a museum containing Chinese artifacts. The House of Whispering Willows Gallery, showcasing a look at the Shanghai Disney Resort. This is not the fun fact for the pavilion, but when Hong Kong was being built, they converted the gallery to show what was happening over there in Hong Kong. So that's kind of cool. Let's see here. This one does feature it does have shops, and it has restaurants, Nine Dragons Table Service and Lotus Blossom Cafe quick service, and then there are acrobats that frequently perform in the outdoor courtyard, and Mulan meets here, which makes perfect sense. The fun fact for this one is the pavilion served as the backdrop for the music video for Christina Aguilera's Reflection from the Mulan film. So if you
I did
go
not
to
know
watch that
that.
music video, everybody pause, go watch the music video, come
Yeah.
back. Yeah, that's where she filmed it. So that's really kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I
I
mean, it
did
makes
not
sense.
know
It
that.
was a music
Yeah.
video for a song in a Disney film. Why not film it in the pavilion at the Disney park? But yeah, I never picked up on it. Of course, it's been decades since I've seen the music video. So
Yeah.
sorry, Christina Aguilera, for that. But okay, so here was my thing. I was thinking I would love to have some kind of Mulan attraction, right? We talked about there not being enough attractions, but I don't know what kind of attraction you would give Mulan.
I know. I was actually, while you were talking about that, thinking, I don't think a boat makes sense, a kind of boat type attraction, and we've already gotten two.
Yeah.
Not have a third. Something for sure, like action packed with the music, and like, I just don't know. I don't know what.
I feel like this could be a place where you could have like a Mulan's training camp, kind of like climbing course, right? When she like tries to tackle that big wooden pole in the movie, or like prepare, like you could like, I don't know,
Maybe
ready.
you could do, instead of like an attraction like that, maybe a playground type of thing.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not just kids, maybe like adult too,
Mm-hmm.
like where you could maybe, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you could test your skills against like yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that
Something.
could be something there. And give an additional like play space or interactive space could be cool.
Yeah, it definitely needs
Um
something. I have never actually watched the China show.
Me either.
Um,
I forget it's there, to be honest. And it makes me wonder what like the capacity is and how many people end up doing that.
I feel like the most time I've ever spent in the China pavilion was with my husband and I on that same trip that we did behind the scenes for our anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
We stopped there, and he got a shot of something. I don't remember what it was now. And it messed us up the entire rest of our trip.
That's why you can't do the shots in Epcot. You just can't do
Yeah.
it.
We had big
yeah.
plans and forgot
Mhm.
that we were over the age of 30, and maybe that wasn't
That
the way to
wasn't
go.
that wasn't the right call.
No.
Yeah. No, I
So
feel
I
like
don't
it would, yeah.
I probably spend
It's
the least
one
amount of time.
Yeah, we usually pass it over. I've never eaten at either of the restaurants there. I feel like the one thing that I've done there is do the food and wine booth, and that's about it, which is
We got egg rolls and sat at the quick service for a little bit with the kids, I think last year, but that was probably it.
Yeah.
I don't think we've
Yeah, I wonder if anybody has like this is their favorite pavilion. I will say I think the gardens are beautiful. I think that, it is a very beautiful pavilion. I've seen a lot of people who have their Disney wedding there because it's so beautiful and it's lit up at night really beautifully. But I think that during the day, it is a place that I will stroll by.
There's not much seating either. Like, we sat on the ground when we were hanging out there that time because there's nowhere to really sit.
Benches, man.
Yeah, benches, trees. There's also no shade. So trees would be fabulous.
Tables, not trash cans. This is where it comes into play. Disney, bring us some places to sit and eat, especially during festivals when that's all you're doing.
Exactly. Come on. You have space between all these pavilions too. Like, you can make some sort of like communal dining hall type of thing. Yeah. Sometimes inside, sometimes outside. Give us some AC every once in a while.
Great. Okay, anything to add on China? Okay. I think that brings us to Germany, if my order is correct here. And I feel like I have to look at my map, maybe.
It does, but it seems like your map maybe has like a little something before you get to Germany.
It does have a little something before I get to Germany. Okay, so as we know, there is space for a couple of other pavilions and countries within World Showcase. They built that out knowing they were going to have this second phase. And I'll get into that when I talk a little bit about the I think it's the Italy Pavilion. But there was an anticipated phase 2 for Epcot and World Showcase. So in phase 2, they were going to bring in those additional countries that I talked about. And so they built space for them. What ended up happening was when there wasn't funding and Disney experienced the hardships of the recession and some financial troubles in the 90s, they cut those plans and they put in what we know as these refreshment outposts. So this, beyond the existing refreshment outpost, is space for a full pavilion and attraction area. I think a lot of it is used as like rehearsal space right now and storage space. But I would take out the refreshment outpost and add in a new country with some of the attractions that they've announced for this Tropical Americas space over at Animal Kingdom. So I would put in a Colombia pavilion, which I think could be really cool, with the main attraction in this pavilion being the Casita Madrigal attraction that they are bringing in. And I don't have a lot on what that attraction looks like. I know the other attraction that they have announced for the Animal Kingdom space is going to be an Indiana Jones ride, but we already have that over in Magic Kingdom, so I don't think we need to duplicate that here. Obviously, I would love to stay within, as far as like what it looks like in the theming, stay within the, a traditional Colombian like city or town, stay with that theming. I would love to have a space like the other pavilions do where we can display some Colombian artifacts, some history about Colombia. And then I think, and then have the Casino Madrigal as that attraction. And then this could be a place where Mirabelle could meet as well. That's my proposed new pavilion.
I don't hate it. I think that can make more sense than it being an Animal Kingdom. Okay. I'm in agreement.
Okay. I don't have a lot of these like unique ideas, right? So, yeah. But I feel like that we need to fill some space, and this is an additional place where we can add in an attraction and a meet and greet. And they have that stage show going on in World Nature right now. Bring that over into the Columbia Pavilion.
There you go.
I would love to see some, street performers performing the music from the credits and the rest of the film. That would be cool. I will say, when we went back in March, for our trip, I spent the first half of the week at Disney World, and I stayed at Coronado Springs, and they had a guitar player, at the Maya Grill, and he was playing songs from the movie, and it was awesome. So I would love to see that in this pavilion that I've made up. So yeah.
I love it.
And you could even bring the Maya Grill over, because that one has kind of like a Mayan, like Colombian theme, and yeah, I like it. So I'm glad you're in agreement. Okay, so then that brings us to Germany. This one is a must-do on our list every time we go. Designed to look like a German town with architecture from different regions and eras. Home to the Beer Garden restaurant, an Oktoberfest-themed buffet restaurant with live music. And Summerfest, a quick service location. It has multiple shopping locations, miniature train village, and Snow White occasionally meets in this pavilion as well. So before we get into it, I gotta ask, what are your opinions on the little train village?
So cute, and I love the little side story people have been making up about said train. And
Right?
it's like a deep secret stuff happening within this little village.
I can't get enough.
So
of
funny.
it. It is and it's taken on a life of its own for Disney fans, so I love it. And it's really cute. It's something, I wish this is where we had more benches and stuff to sit and let the children just sit and enjoy it, because even I like to just sit and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I will say it's also a tradition of ours to go in and buy a beer stein every time we're there. And although it's not German, but we may or may not fill those with green beer on St. Patrick's Day every year. Or apple juice for the children and cheers. But yeah, it's so fun to go in there and look at all the different steins, and I love all their little Christmas decor too. My little elf heart makes me happy. So, is the Germany Pavilion a stop on your tour of World Showcase?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we usually always stop here. I've never eaten at Beer Garden. It's always we always sing about it, but did you? It's just hard to eat a sit-down restaurant when you have all the snacks and stuff.
Yeah. We did on our honeymoon, and it is definitely a heavier meal, so I would not recommend this for your midday break, because you will be sluggish and struggling after eating here. But it was good. It was good. And the entertainment is really great too. All of the tables are kind of communal tables. So it was us and then, a couple of other families at the table, and the buffet was delicious. And the music inside was just great. So, I've never been to Oktoberfest, but I imagine it would be very similar. So, here's the fun fact for this, pavilion. There was originally intended to have a boat attraction themed to Germany's most famous rivers, but it was never built. So there is space for an attraction. There's a whole show building back there. Right now it's used as rehearsal space for some of the performers. What would you bring to the Germany Pavilion or change about the Germany Pavilion?
I think when we were doing Magic Kingdom, did we not say that we would bring the Snow White Daring Journey here? Or did we put that in Magic Kingdom? I can't remember.
No, we did. We said we would bring Snow White's Adventures over here, and make this where that dark ride is housed. And I love it. Snow White already meets there, so why not have her attraction there as well? So.
Aww.
Yeah. I think both of us were just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we just got a comment on our Facebook page, and it was from my mother, who's being very sweet. And yes, so she was commenting on not our last episode, but the one before that with our memories from Magic Kingdom. So we both got that, and we were like, oh, so cute. Anyways, yeah. So I think bringing over another attraction and Snow White makes the most sense here. So I'm in agreement. And the fact that they haven't built, I honestly, I would even take the river ride that was originally proposed. I think that could be great too.
Yeah, it could be. I wonder why they didn't. Besides, like,
I to be honest, I think a lot of the attractions were supposed to be part of this phase 2 that ended up not happening because of the
money.
financial space they were in the mid 90s. So, okay, then that brings us to Italy. Designed to evoke the atmosphere of Venice, Italy, with architectural elements like a replica St. Mark's Square and the, I don't know how, I'm going to say this wrong, but probably maybe Doge, I don't know, Doge, palace, and the Neptune Fountain. That's what they call it. It's reminiscent of Rome's Trevi Fountain. They do have smaller shops selling authentic Italian goods, perfumes, wines. We have Tutto Italia and Via Napoli are the table service options in this pavilion. And then we've got music, clowns, acting troupes that perform in the piazza throughout the day. So I have 2 fun facts for this pavilion. One, we kind of talked about this Epcot Phase 2, and this pavilion was going to get a real big like makeover with this expansion. So prior to this, Epcot was actually pretty bland. There wasn't, like, Via Napoli did not exist. I think there was the other table service restaurant, but it was really just like shopping for Italian goods. Which, side note, tangent, I love walking into the shops here in Italy because it smells like fine leather goods. Like, it is so nice, and it actually reminds me very much of my grandmother, who was into perfumes and fine leather goods. And like, I walk in there and it just like hits me. But I think between that, and then I think this is also where there's like some soccer gear and stuff too, from Italy. So I think that's really cool. So the shops here are definitely a must do on our list. But anyway, so beyond the shops that existed there before phase 2, there really wasn't a lot. It kind of dead ended at like a wall, basically. And part of this phase 2 was going to include a gondola dark ride attraction and a set of Roman ruins walkthrough attractions. So, these were all going to be included in the Italy Pavilion, which actually, as it stands now, is kind of one of the smallest pavilions that we have within the park. When it was canceled, the pavilion was left, like I said, incomplete. And it wasn't until 2010 when the restaurant Via Napoli was built, which kind of completed that like plaza or piazza, and kind of made it feel a little bit more complete. When Via Napoli came in, the restaurant itself is inspired by dining and architecture trademarks in Naples and Florence. But if you've ever gone into the restaurant, you'll notice that they have a trio of ovens in the restaurant. And those are named Vesuvius, Etna, and Stromboli. So, just a little fun fact there. And then Neapolitan pizza. Now listen, here's what I have to say. Y'all know, if you've been listening, I'm a pizza girl. And I have not yet eaten at Via Napoli.
It's been on our list too, and we just haven't made it.
I don't know how I haven't done it yet. Probably
Shocks
because I get
me.
past Mexico and I'm made poor decisions and can't think. But yeah, I feel like this is it's got to be one for our trip when we send our husbands away and we get to go, because I think that it's got to be on my must-do list for the next time I get to go. So, thoughts about Italy. I will say I would love to see a like Roman ruins attraction. There is a building that has Roman architecture in the back of the pavilion. It's just like a random, almost like a doorway that looks like it's carved into some Roman architecture stuff. It blends really well, but I would love to see that part of Italian history come through and be showcased in this pavilion. But I think this is also another place where we could include some IP. What are your thoughts? Yeah, mine too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely some sort of Pinocchio, the ride, and maybe some other things.
I would love to see like a puppet shop and a.
That's what I was thinking. Like maybe bring like the workshop type of thing there. Italy is
a build your own puppet, like you build your own lightsaber. That'd be so cool.
I struggle with Italy. Most of the time we just scurry right by. Probably why we also haven't eaten much there. And the food booths for Italy are normally less than stellar.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, I struggle with Italy a lot. I do love like across from the pavilion is like the what do you call the boats? Yeah. Like there's like that whole like bridge thing and that. I feel like they should do something with that.
Yeah.
Maybe like the boat ride kind of start there and then maybe encircle behind and then come back out or something.
That would be cool.
I don't know. Yeah, Italy pavilion is a struggle.
Yeah.
Maybe if we add
I mean, I think that's evident in the fact that they thought they were going to do more with it and then didn't. And so now we're in this kind of weird place that we have it. But that does not explain why you can't make the food in these pavilions better. Don't rest on gelato. You know what I mean?
I don't understand. Italian food is like really not that complicated.
No.
To make it decent.
I don't know if it's, it makes me wonder, and this thought just came to me, but it makes me wonder if because it's such an experience in Italy, if it's hard to do like in a snack kind of setting, you know, but I don't know if that, like, maybe that has, I don't know how that plays into the quality other than like you're trying to mass make something that is traditionally like made by hand and with care, and I don't know, but get it right.
Get it right. Bring us Pinocchio. Do something with the gondola ride.
Right. Yeah. Let's get it together and fix it.
Do the gondolas to see the architecture.
Yeah.
Come on.
So we're in agreement that Italy needs work. So for those of you who are listening, tell us your thoughts, and we will tag Disney and hopefully they'll fix it. So, okay, that brings us over. Can we talk for a second about the secret hidden character gem between Italy and the American Adventure?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know, this is a great place to get to meet characters. Especially when the parks are busy. This is where it's kind of like a hidden gem, I feel like. It's not really on the character meets on the map. But there is kind of like I don't even know how you would describe it, but it's almost like a ramp to a backstage area between the two pavilions. And a lot of times Disney will bring out, or the parks will bring out, some of the more like obscure characters. Usually Mickey Mouse will be here too. But if I come to understand it, it's potentially some people who are friends with characters learning how to be friends with that character.
Yes.
Okay.
The friends of some of them. And you see some rare ones. The penguin from
Mary Poppins.
And I think we saw, I just had his name, the monkey from Jungle Book.
Baloo
there.
No, Baloo's the bear.
Passed.
What's the monkey from Jungle?
Oh, yeah. But Baloo was there. They were both there.
Oh, okay.
But I can't think of his name. Some rarer characters that you don't see very often. And it's pretty cool. You have to keep an eye out.
It's not on the Times Guide, but if you're hanging out by the American Adventure Pavilion, there's a good chance that you're going to see one of these characters. And get to have a little like meet and greet with very short lines, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's in the shade. So when there's no shade anywhere else in the park, there's shade there. Yes. Okay, so at this point, we're kind of at our usual time, which means that we're going to have to break this into 2 episodes.
I think so. I was kind of like looking up at the time. I was like, oh, we've been going for quite a bit.
I really thought we would go through it more, but it's been fun to have discussions around, each pavilion and, yeah. So, 11 countries is a lot to get through in an hour. So,
really, truly is.
Yeah.
A long distance to travel.
It's a long distance to walk. It's a long distance to talk about. Long time to talk about. Anyways,
Yeah.
I guess a part 2 for World Showcase.
Yeah,
So,
so if you want to come back for part 2 and the rest of World Showcase, if it were up to us.
well, you'll just have to listen.